Hi, this is Robert and Alan McCurry. And guess what? I have a really big echo. I can hear myself breathe. Okay. Feedback is horrendous. We have to get on. Am I on and you're? Oh, is it feedback? You hear that? You hear the feedback? My window is off. I need someone to John. So mute your phone. Just mute your speaker. I'm getting feedback. It's coming in from somewhere. Nobody's getting on. In fact, I lost people. Huh? Mm-hmm. You can hear the echo? Can you hear me now? I'm picking up somebody else's mic. Am I picking up that mic? Mute me. On that mic right there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I got everything muted. Oh, where is this coming from? Come on. So kick yourself off. Get off. Are you there? Wow. This is Robert Allen McCrae. We're waiting for Rye Anderson and Craig. And this is on the reading method. Can you hear me? Hello? Is it? So I'm getting somebody else on the blab. Are you on the blab? That's odd. Why am I getting this echo? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Hi, this is Robert Allen McRae. Hello, where is... Can you get on? You need to get on. Jump on. Can you get on the line, please? Hey, Ray, jump on the panel. Hey, Leah! Woohoo! Nice to see you, Leah. Well, now we have Ree. Welcome. You see me, Leah? Now I can see your top of your head, Ree.
The top of my head.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Wait a minute.
Woo!
You need a little bit more than the top of my head.
You're perfect, right? And you look absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, come on, Robert. Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying to wake up.
Oh, you're good. You're so good. It's only 1 o'clock on Friday. It just took all week for us to wake up to this moment.
Okay. All right. I want to warn you that this is supported by a suction cup that may come unloose.
No, just look at me and talk, because you're perfect.
Okay, thank you.
You're perfect. Just a little background.
Okay, have you got Craig on?
I don't know where Craig is.
Don't tell me this is happening again. I mean, they can just see you right in the thing. Man, that's embarrassing. I don't want to see with my mouth. So I said, do not enable camera. I don't think you can hear me. Ree?
Yes.
Oh,
Hello?
okay. Never mind.
Hi, is that Leah?
Yeah, it's me. But I'm not putting my picture on. Hang that up.
No fair. I had to.
No, yeah, right. Well, I had a procedure yesterday, remember?
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Hang it up.
We'll excuse you today.
Thank you very much. You do look really good, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling as though it's 10 o'clock my time. It's 1 o'clock our time. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing we can do this?
Yes. Yes. Tis.
Oh, where's Craig now?
I'm not sure my earbuds, Leah, are in correctly. Let me reverse them.
You can call me Lisa too, you know.
Okay, now speak to me again.
I said you can call me Lisa. It sounds weird when you call me Leah.
Well, we didn't want to confuse Facebook so much.
Well, that's true too.
Okay, I think I have the earbuds in correctly now. sounds a lot better.
So what?
Did Robert hook you up?
I guess,
Ha-
yeah. And then
Okay.
I accessed the microphone, but not the camera. So,
Well, I know I did that, but they wouldn't let me get by with that.
oh, you're no, I can see why.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
and understand why. That's important.
Okay. Is Kenny with you?
Yep, he's right here. Say hello, Kenny.
Hello, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny. Super.
Hi, everybody.
Is it on? I don't know what you're doing.
Where's Craig?
I don't know what's happened to Craig.
I spoke to him about 20 minutes ago. He was in good shape. He thought he was on. I thought they had that worked out already, and they thought so too.
Send him the link again.
Does he
Send
have
him
an
the link.
I couldn't hear that.
Does he have an iPhone?
He has an iPad.
Oh, okay. Because I signed in through Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, I explained that. I got through Twitter also to this
Yeah.
blab. And I still don't know exactly what I'm doing. I've just been lucky enough to blunder through 2 times now. The electronics is far more stressful than the blab.
Oh, right.
Hi, Leah. How are you?
Hey, Robert.
Nice to see you here.
You can't see me.
Because you didn't put on your camera.
What?
Do you have your camera?
No, I don't want it on. Not today, thank you.
See, Robert?
That is amazing. So not everybody wants to be on camera.
Well, not for me today, at any rate.
So, Robert, where is Craig?
I'm going to try to get him on.
Okay.
Just everybody stay on right now.
Okay. What's so neat about today is we're going to hear so much more about the children. And that's exciting also.
Well, there's how many people are on? Do you know?
No, let's see. Sometimes it'll tell me, tell your followers you're live, notify. Call has enabled. No, it doesn't tell me how many are on.
No, I was just curious. Okay.
Sometimes it does, but not right now. Says that we're recording, and I see some faces. Blanche is on.
Oh, Blanche is on?
And a new friend whose name I can't pronounce. I'm not sure I pronounced it correctly. Doesn't show Craig yet, though. You're the only two. You and Kenny, the only two that have hooked into the audio.
Oh, I see. What, most people just listen and...
Yeah. I don't know whether Robert has to do something in particular about that. I think so.
Okay. And he says he's trying to get Craig on.
Right. Kenny, to answer your question, Craig has a laptop, and I haven't asked him about his phone, but his phone has got to be an something or another, because he does all kinds of messaging, the latest messenger and everything. But I think he was attempting to use his laptop last time. And there's trouble with the lighting. Um, I moved the Buddha, Lisa, and sometimes it shows.
Yeah, your hair is sort of in the way.
Well, we don't want to get. There he
No,
is.
yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Right over your shoulder. That's pretty cool.
I know. I thought so too. But
So move to your right just a teeny bit, can you?
to
So we
my
can-
right.
Yeah, so we can see the Buddha. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
A
And
picture
I'm
of her
I'm
phone.
still centered enough in the camera.
Huh? Well, you're a little off to the. No, I can see you, but you're just a little off to the side, so you can see the Buddha. I'm going to
Okay.
take a picture of you. Where's your phone?
Where's my phone?
No, I'm talking to Kenny. I'm going to take
Oh,
a picture of you
okay.
on my. And then I'll. Thank you. That's pretty cool.
Robert kept saying he could see the little Buddha. And I kept saying, no, there is no little Buddha. There's simply the Buddha.
I like that. I heard you say that the other day. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Robert's still talking to Craig, it says.
Oh, okay. I don't have any information on that, so let me know what you hear.
Okay. Well, keep talking, Ree.
He says to keep talking.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose then that we are live.
Robert says he'll be right on,
Oh, good.
and he loves the Buddha.
So do I.
And I'm going to email you this picture of you live.
Oh, very much so. Okay. Well, I don't know whether it's best to just continue to talk about. I wanted Kenny to know the Buddha came from Sedona.
Now somebody else is on. Good morning from Las Vegas. Robert said good morning.
Oh, great. Kenny sell, okay, one attachment.
You might want to start talking about the reading method. Or what do you think?
Well, I would like so much for Craig to take it from wherever he wants to start this morning.
Right. No, I understand. And here's, yeah. Someone else is trying to get the audio working.
Okay.
Piard is on line 14. Maria Novella from Las Vegas.
I thought that was Maria. Okay. Good. Super. You're seeing more than I'm able to see, Lisa. Or more than it's telling me here.
Yeah, it's okay, you're welcome.
Who's that, Robert?
Yeah.
But you're a pro at audio. And a number of other things.
Well, thank you. Well, while you're waiting,
Tell us about your experience with the reading method.
mine? Oh, wow. Well, I've been able to read. I think what I noticed especially is a lot of doors open for me in other areas that I wasn't, I mean, it just happened so naturally and effortlessly that I was able to like open my world, put it that way, and not to be so closed.
Mhm.
It made a significant difference for me.
It was observable too, I thought.
Yeah. Well, you usually get it first before me. You tell me so. No, but it was absolutely awesome. I loved it, and it was just amazing. I felt
And it,
it had changed, and I think I said it was like a Scrabble board at the time. It was like somebody had taken, all the little letters in the when you play Scrabble, and
uh-huh.
they shook it and shook it, and then it just boom all over the place, and it was like everything changed.
I love it. I love it.
So that was,
As-
that was a big deal. That was a big deal for me, and I waited several. There he is.
Description.
I see him.
There's Greg.
Okay, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I'm on.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Hey, you're on and you're right side up.
Yeah. Hello, Reed. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to have you, Greg, I must say.
Well, guys, thank you. There must be an echo here. Hi, Leah. You've got background music going on.
Oh, I do?
Someone does, or unless it's me.
Maybe
So,
you're
okay.
Someone,
Your hair's fine.
So,
Welcome, everybody. This
Is
is the Universal Reading Method with Craig Collins, Reed Anderson, and Leah. Thank you for being here today. And thanks for everyone for being on here today. Actually, wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Craig, thank you. Thank you for your smile. And Reed, you're an amazing master at getting on blast. You are. I mean, if anybody
what's that?
knew what blab was, you're a master at it. You've done really well, and you look really well.
I'm not sure that I'm actually. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, well, let's
all right.
begin. Let's begin. As
Yes,
if you probably noticed, my name is Craig Collins, and I'm the CEO of Yes, You Can Read Now, and I teach people to read. And we have what's called the Universal Reading Method, and the Universal Reading Method is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When I first heard about it from my older brother, Doug, he invented it in 1992. And when he discovered it, he was going to law school, and a law professor told him about concepts. And my brother was going to quit law school. He just couldn't read it well enough. He couldn't memorize everything. He was totally frustrated. And he went home after this instructor explained to him about how concepts, you didn't have to memorize everything. You just had to learn the concept. And he woke up in the morning and he wrote down the entire reading method, the Universal Reading Method. And it was just like, it was amazing to him. And then he looked at it, and then he started studying his law stuff, and then he went back to school, and he graduated from law school at the top of his class. So he was the first person to be able to receive the Universal Reading Method. He called it the Doug Collins Reading Method at that time. And then he went to his preschool where he had kids, and he taught a 3.5-year-old girl to read. And in the middle of it, the gas and electric company came and said, "You have a gas leak," and he had to leave her there, so he gave her this big pile of books. And then he ran off to work with the gas and electric company, and they go, "Oh my God, I forgot about my little girl sitting there waiting." And she had this big stack of books. So he runs back in and he looks at her, and the stack of books that was on the left side of her chair are now on the right side of the chair. So he says, "Well, what have you been doing?" And she says, "I've been reading the books." You know, she's 3.5 years old. 3.5-year-old kids like to make up stories and tell whatever. And so he goes, really? So he picks up the bottom book and he asks her, well, what's this book about? And she told him. Well, she ended up telling him about every single one of the books and the story. And she understood it and had a little opinion on the side. He realized, oh my God, this worked. So he told me that story, and I brought him people. I was a private detective for about 40 years, and so my need is to tell the truth. I testify in court, you know, and I'm what's called unimpeachable, and so I needed to know for sure what was going on. So what I did was I brought him students I knew couldn't read, and every single person I watched transformed into a reader in 2.5 hours, sometimes less than 2.5 hours. So I was really impressed, but still needing to know if it really worked and who it worked with and who it didn't work with. I brought him all kinds of students, but then we taught a class. I went, can we teach more than one person? And I watched him teach a class of 20 students, all of them Mexican-American people who were in an ESL class. And it worked. We had 100% of the people. And one woman that I personally pre-tested before we started couldn't even speak English and wouldn't speak English to me. And I begged her to come back. I begged her, and she said, okay. So she came back and she learned it. And when I interviewed her afterwards and did the post-test, she read all the words. And it was amazing to me. So again, wanting to be completely clear as to how this works, I traveled for 3.5 years around the United States and up into Canada and over to the UK. And I found people with accents. I found people from foreign countries who spoke French and German. I found people that were autistic. I found a woman who had Alzheimer's syndrome. I taught people who were bipolar and every type of person I could possibly find. And we're getting a lot of noise and static in the background. Anyway, so we had this incredible, I couldn't find anybody I couldn't teach to read. I mean, I went everywhere and everybody transformed in 2.5 hours to being an incredible reader. It's been just amazing for me. It's like being a part of a miracle. I get to witness every day, every other day, I teach somebody and someone transforms into being a reader and couldn't read before. Yesterday morning, I had a guy who was 40 years old or 41 years old. And he came to me and his mom referred me to him. And he came to me and he was really disturbed. He was defensive. He was uncomfortable to be there. He had failed before. It had been a really big, had been a really challenge for him. So in 2.5 hours, he was reading 475 multi-syllable words. We provide a break in the middle for people to take a walk and to consolidate the information, which is the most important thing. There's the consolidation time, and also after that, for 15 minutes, they review what they've learned on the video. And it was a different person. He was a different person. So
some of Craig's audio is not clear. Robert, are you getting him clear?
Yeah, we hear him fine.
Craig,
we hear him fine.
Okay, all right, great. Okay.
So when he came back, he was a different person. He looked at me. He was smiling. He was up. He was excited to go back and do the review. He was excited to do the exceptional sound. And at the end, he read the 475 words, and his description of himself is, I'm a slow reader. And I've always been a slow reader. And people have always criticized me for my reading. And I have to read things over and over again, and I'm really slow. He read these 475 words faster than I could keep up. I could not read them as fast as he was reading them. And at the end, I said, do you still think you're slow? He said, well, those are just words. And I said, okay. So we pulled out a book. And he read from the book 2 paragraphs. And he read them. And then I said, well, do you know what you were reading? And then he tells me the story. And he was absolutely accurate. So I told him, go back to college. Go to college. Get a degree. Go get the kind of job that you really want to and deserve. So that's what's happening. It was very exciting, and that happens all the time. I'm hoping there are questions, or if I can tell you any more story, whatever you like, I'd love to. Okay. I'm hearing lots of sounds in the background. Is someone cleaning the kitchen somewhere?
Not here.
Can you
No.
hear?
I hear it too, Greg.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay.
Okay.
He's
Good.
clearer now too.
Yeah. Am I clear now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
One of the questions that people ask me a lot is, well, how do we do that? What is it? What are we doing? Okay, so we're teaching 7 concepts, and 7 concepts is very important. Not 8, not 9, not 10, 7. And we're very careful not to let the student ask any questions or be distracted by their cell phone or to talk to anybody while they're doing the reading method. So 7 concepts. It's based on a study called 9 + 2 - 2. That was a neuroscience study that was done that determined that 7 was a key number of things people can remember. The example is that my phone number is 858-945-5007. 858-945-5007. I can say it twice. You can't write it down. I mean, you want to write it down, and you want to write it down, but you couldn't type it into your phone. You couldn't use it right away. But my phone number is 945-5007. And you can use that. You can put that into your phone. You can type that in right away because it's only 7 concepts. And you don't have to have trouble with reading or be anybody different. Everybody has a problem with anything over 7. We just dropped the whole thing. When I said 858-945-5007, you dropped the whole number, not just the 945-5007. So this happens all the time with people, right? So we just teach 7 concepts. And then the important thing about our concepts is that the first concept leads to the second, and the second leads to the third, and the third leads to the fourth. In fact, after the third concept, people are going, well, what about this? And then we answer that question. And a huge thing that we teach that most people don't understand, we're teaching all the sounds that the letters make, all the sounds. So that when we teach all the sounds, normally you would have had to learn 444 rules. That was how reading has been taught and explained in 444 rules. We have one exercise that covers all 444 rules so that when you're done, you can pronounce all the sounds that vowels and consonants make together. And then the big question is, well, if they're long and short, if a vowel is long or short, and they've learned about long and short vowels, when is a vowel long and short? And my brother figured out a really, really amazing way to show exactly when a vowel is long and short. And when the student uses that and knows where to separate, put the pauses, which we instruct them, then they read 475 multisyllable words, which include the exceptional sounds that we teach at the end. So it's, I'm always amazed by it. Every time a student comes in, I think, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, I don't think they're going to figure it out. I don't know if they're going to understand. Well, every time I'm pleasantly surprised. So one question is there anyone who can't learn our universal reading method? And so there's a person who is taking behavior modification drugs. I'm not making a medical opinion. I'm just having an experience with students who come to me who want to learn the universal reading method. And when they tell me that they have taken Ritalin or a behavior modification drug, or if they go out at the break and smoke a joint or something, then it doesn't work. So what are we doing? What's happening? Okay, so I want to really impress you because I'm really impressed. We have a study that's happening at the University of California at San Diego. University of California, San Diego, to me, is one of the highest level universities that exists. And the neuroscience department is bar none. They and the University of San Francisco or the University of California, San Francisco are both the most prestigious neuroscience departments. And they've chosen our universal reading method to do a brain imaging study. And Barry Schwartz, who's a PhD in neuroscience, is the person who has followed me around and been with me when I taught someone who had a stroke, and the person with a stroke was paralyzed on the right side of their body, and they were slurring their words, and within 20 minutes stopped slurring their words, and within an hour took a walk. And they had carried their body and pulled their body up with a polio crutch up the stairs. I followed them and almost wanted to make sure he didn't fall down. he wanted to go on the walk. I was prepared to let him sit on a patio outside just to kind of be on his own. And now he demanded that he go on the walk. And I told him to be back in 15 minutes. And his name is Lewis Sims, and Lewis came back in 20 minutes. So I said, why did you guys take a little longer? Because I'm kind of picky about the timing and stuff. And his stepdaughter said, well, there were ducks down below, and he wanted to go downstairs and see the ducks. That's going down 2 flights of stairs. This is a guy who's been paralyzed on the right side of his body, and he wasn't experiencing that anymore. He was not completely walking perfectly, but he definitely wasn't having that paralysis experience where he couldn't walk and couldn't go up and down stairs. So anyway, this is the kind of experiences that I have with the Universal Reading Method. And so I kind of got off as to the purpose of the story about Lewis, other than that it's a wonderful story. But there's so many stories. People who are autistic is another big deal. I mean, I'm really impressed. People who have been autistic and they don't like to make physical contact and they don't like emotion. And one of the people was in Minnesota, and his name was Harris. He was 16 years old, and he couldn't read fourth grade reader. I had him reading from a little book. He said, oh, I can read from this book. And he couldn't read from the book. And then after 2.5 hours, with his mom, with his hand on her shoulder, which he had never touched her before, she looked at it like, what's that on my shoulder? And realized it was her son's arm and hand. And then with his arm around her, he has her holding the words in the sheets, and he's reading the words over her shoulder. And it's just, she has tears coming down her face and apologizing for expressing emotion. And he goes, it's okay, Mom. And he pats her. Normally, he would have ran out of the room. And after that, he showed me his fort and took me inside and opened up all the locks. And his mom says, he's never showed anybody his fort before, ever. We built it and he put locks on it. He took you inside and he showed me all the drawers and all the sacred things that he had saved. I heard from Harris's, a person who works with Harris, and she told me that Harris graduated from high school. That Harris has a girlfriend, which obviously involves touching, that he went to the prom, which involves dancing, and that he got accepted to college and he wants to be a minister and he's going to go to a theological seminary. When I met him, he was riding a very large tricycle. He was 16. Mm-hmm. He was very, very young, very sweet. But in that moment of his learning to read those words and be able to read completely, it changed his life. So I'm alive right now today because I want to teach the world to read. And I've set it up so you can have the experiences I've having. I've set up an affiliate relationship so that you can actually teach the Universal Reading Method using a video that has me teaching it. So you don't have to teach anybody anything. You just have to keep company with them and have them come to your house and sit in front of your computer and go on the Universal Reading Method, and then help them with the words at the end so that they read the words to you so you can experience it. And there's a pretest, and you can participate in the pretest as well. So you get to see what they're like before, and they get to experience what they're like as a reader before. And then afterward, they get to read the 475 words. And then they can read from a reading sample or a book. It touches your heart. It touches my heart. And we're changing the world. People ask me, how was your day? I've had some really challenging days in the last couple of weeks trying to get on this lab and figure out the computer because I'm not very good at the computer. But how was my day? Yesterday, I changed a person's life. It was incredible. And I invite you to share that with everyone you know and to participate with us. So even if you become an affiliate and you refer people to our site, which is a video site, then you receive a very healthy compensation for that. I provide $100 to every person who refers me someone. And then if you want to do it at home and have people come to your house and see it, then I provide you $150. I want you to do this. I really want to teach the world to read. I want to make it important and make it profitable for you. And so that's what we're doing. We're doing some really exciting things. It's real easy. I do require every one of my affiliates to take the reading method. Yep, and you'll have experience changes. Ree's going to tell you a little bit about what it's like for someone who doesn't have a reading problem, how she's used the reading method to advance people in some of their own personal emotional work and to extend them beyond some of their limitations. Can you help us with that, Ree?
Thank you. Hi. I'm getting feedback, Robert. I'm speaking and then I'm hearing it come back, but we'll proceed. I wanted to add to what you said, Craig, is that the reading method is how you combined it and pulled it together. It's based on the 7 plus or minus chunks of information. And after, that's why our telephone numbers and our social security number are coded in 3 and 2 and 4. We can remember that. It's chunked. 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information. And the reading method is taught in that manner also, so that whether your conscious mind gets it all or not, your unconscious gets it. And Craig has said after, if you are trying to figure out a rule, for instance, later, just guess at it. And sure enough, it's in the unconscious. It comes forward to the conscious mind. Pretty fascinating. Also, some of the things that happen with people, whether children or grown-ups, or it's so intimate that it's like the experience is one of sacredness. It's so intimate, so beautifully done, effortlessly done. It's miraculous, just miraculous. So I pretty much changed how I do therapy. I didn't throw anything out. I still have my huge background of resources that I can pull at a second's notice. But if I can introduce them to the reading method and encourage them to do that first, and when they agree to go with that, or if they agree to go with that, then it's just a neat thing to clean up anything that's left over. You know, don't come for deep therapy anymore. Let's go do the reading method. We just clean up afterwards what might be left over. And as Craig says, he's been around the world just simply sitting down with a laptop and teaching the reading method and not concerned about leftovers. He hasn't spent almost 40 years as a psychotherapist, but your degree is in therapy, right? Counseling, Greg, right?
Well, I don't have a degree, actually, but hello, Robin Perna. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I've been listening for a little bit.
I couldn't hear that, Robert.
I know, it's a challenge to get on. I have the same problem. She just asked me about my having a degree. I don't have a degree in anything. I actually studied for a degree and a master's in psychiatric social work, and I have a background in psychology, and I've done a lot of coaching and counseling with people. And then I decided that I wanted to be a private investigator. So I became a private investigator for 40 years and solved mysteries and puzzles. So that's my background. Robin's here, and Robin is a reading specialist. She has a master's degree in reading. I think it's language arts. Is that right? Language arts?
Yes.
Yeah. And we are enjoying a video that we took of Robin some time ago when we were teaching her niece to read, and she was very excited about watching her niece learn to read.
I can't hear it, Robert.
And she gave me some great suggestions when she was teaching students, and suggested that we slow the reading method down for students so that they could take it slower. And I'm going to actually make it even slower for special students. So, Robin, can you say something about our reading method and yourself?
Thank you. And I'm sorry I don't have I'm going to talk quietly. Let me know if you can. What I found this reading method does, it takes pieces of reading and puts them together in concise formula for kids to be able to grasp. I feel like a lot of kids are exposed to this through education, but they have no idea how to put it together. And as your brother told me, we're always told it's difficult. And if you look at the little pieces and learn how to put them together, it makes them much more simple. and then it motivates the child to work harder because it's simple. It's something that's simple. And I've been using some of the components with small groups and seeing great progress. My niece still is not in special reading groups. Avid reader now, which you should be very proud of. Has read, she read the rest of the series of the books that she read. And then she also read, I forgot what that series was that they made a bunch of. I can't remember the name of it. So I wish you had the memory.
Robin's niece is delightful, and Robin is delightful, one of my favorite people, and a reading specialist. I mean, just to have a reading specialist be willing to talk to me has been really, really my honor. And her niece was such a sweetheart.
I don't know about you guys, but it's a little echoey on my end.
So I'm hoping everyone can hear her. I have no idea about how individual sounds are working. I notice Ree's not up right now. But it has been really an interesting road. I actually met Robin almost 10 years ago. And we talked about the reading methods for quite a while. And we're excited now to be online and go forward with it in regards to being online. And Robin and I will be talking more about where to go forward with her. But that she got to see it work, and then also the fine suggestions she made to me as we were developing it and making it a product, and also and really listening about the need for the student to have more time to be able to process the information was really helpful, because I was teaching it a little quicker and I had a video that I was there, but I was there with the student. So online it was very important to have it be more succinct for her. How are you today, Robin? How are you?
I'm doing
Can you
great.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's just echoing.
Yeah, I'm getting an echo too. Are you getting an echo, Robert?
It is. It's a microphone. There's some other piece of audio by the microphone speaking.
I think what I'll do that. Is that better? Oh yeah. Sorry, I had a camera hooked to my computer.
Yeah, if you don't, you have to turn off your computer. You can't be next to your computer.
Yeah, it's still on there. I am on my computer. Oops. Oh yeah.
So we have the sound on your computer. We can hear you, but not your
The
phone.
audio.
It's better.
It sounds good now.
You know what? I think I have to run to my car. I'll go get my headset because this is pretty echoey.
Oh, great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.
Super good. Yay!
By the way, I just adore Robin. Robin is just a wonderful person, and she is such a caring person. And Robin, by the way, had reading problems when she was.
Sounds better.
So she was
Craig.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Robin was dyslexic and had her own challenges with reading, and then because of that, that's why she became a reading specialist and wanted to help people. And she's taken every reading method there is and taught many different reading methods. And when she found the universal reading method and I shared it with her, she was really skeptical, which I loved because I was really skeptical and I wanted to know, maybe I want to know what was true. And Robin worked with it. And when she saw her niece learn to read, and I taught her niece, and it was in less than 2 hours I taught her niece, her niece went outside and sat on the floor, and we didn't have a light on. So she sat by this cabinet that had a light coming through it, and she read this book about vampires. And it's a famous book that kids read about vampires, The Friendly Vampire. And she read 37 pages while we were talking in the other room. And so I came out and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, I've been reading the book." She said, "Oh my God!" And I said, "What do you think?" She said, "Nothing like the movie. It's really different than the movie," because she had seen the movie. She goes, "I like it better in the book." I mean, and as Robin was telling you, she's read hundreds of books, and she's in special reading groups for the Excel reading groups, and it changed her life. And she was 12 years old when I taught her, and she was getting ready to go into this to the 8th grade, I think it is. It was the 8th grade, 12. 6 and 6, yeah, it was 12. So she was going to go maybe the wrong direction. You know, she had options in her life, and if she was considered to be look and feel dumb and stupid, she wasn't going to be going in the right direction and go maybe to with kids that weren't making the right decisions. But now she's a superstar. So anyway, that was Robin. I hope the other people will come on and say something. And where is everybody? I hope you'll come and tell your story. I've got lots of people out there that I invited, and if you're there, I saw Maria. Maria, are you still there? And can you come in? Come on. Maria has a school in Las Vegas, and she teaches the reading method in the school, along with all kinds of different programs for people who want instruction how to become, you know, a technical person or to work in a doctor's office, things like that. But the fun one is her daughter. She taught her daughter heard about me, and her daughter was 8 years old, and she said, "Mom, I wanted to go on that reading method." And Maria goes, "Well, I think she was 7.5. She goes, you might be a little young. I don't know if you want to do it." "No, I want to do it. I really want to do it." So she said, "Okay, come down to the office." She brought her to the office, and by herself. Maria was busy. I didn't even know she was doing it. And she goes on the video, and she says to her mom when she's done, "I want to call Craig." And so she called me, and she thanked me. And then she went to school, and she ran for the student council, and she got accepted. And then she told her mom, "I can't wear the same clothes now that I'm on the student council." So they had to go buy her a whole new wardrobe. And then there was a judge that gave her a certificate for becoming a student council. I think this little girl, I really do, because my goal is to teach the world and change the world because of the people I teach. And I really, truly, honestly, I'm really not bragging about this. I'm really having an intuitive feeling about this little girl. I think she's going to run for president someday. I really, honestly do. And I hope I'm still alive when that happens, or I'll follow her anyway. But the change in this little girl is like big fork in the road. I mean, this little girl has gone a different direction. She's got really cool friends, and she's really proud of herself. Carries a designer purse to school. She's really got into being in the role as a city council person or the student council person. So anyway, looks like Robin's back. Hi, Robin. Can we hear you?
Robin.
Can't hear you.
Okay. Okay, now you can.
Okay,
Yep.
now we can. Good.
Robin, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I think I'm going to go in the office so that everyone doesn't have to hear me talking to you.
Robin's at a school today. She teaches in the school. I'm not sure what her current job is, but I think she's doing some work in a school. So she's going to go.
My title is I'm a literacy intervention specialist. I work part-time. I just work 18 hours a week, which is awesome. Because I retired for 3 years. I don't want to work more than that. And then I have a business I run out of my house, and I'm a new grandma, so I don't want to work all the time. But we've made great impact. One of the things that we did this year, because last year is when I started, we went back and started teaching the exceptions and vowel connections. And the ladies I work with had said, "That's ridiculous. Why do they need that? This is 3rd through 5th grade." And
I'm not sure about other viewers, but the sound is still...
She's trying to get on. I'm sorry, Robin.
Yeah, no, she said the sound is not good, she said.
But, you know, your sound is fine. We're hearing you fine.
Everything is fine. Everything is good.
Okay,
I know
go ahead, Robin.
her thing, it says poor internet signal. So anyway, by dipping down and working on those basic skills, even with kids that should already know it, we've had huge growth in the school. And this was a school that I think only 5% of the kids were on grade level. That's not good. And now we're over 50%.
Wonderful.
So we've made big growth.
Huge.
And I've told everyone that I ever talked to that one day I met your brother up on the mountain, I learned things about reading that no one had ever taught me. And I thought I was a pretty good reader. but they were little simple things. Like I said, it was little pieces I need to be a better reader and be confident. So that's awesome.
I told them that when you were young, you had some challenges with reading as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Until I was at least 19. Yeah. And I learned this year why I became a teacher. Never really knew, except I love kids. And I said it was because I was bullied by a 6th grade teacher and bullied by a college teacher. One told me I was stupid. The other one said I was an idiot. And I knew it was because I wanted to fill a spot to help kids and support kids, because I didn't want some crazy person like that, you know, getting in the classroom. So, yeah. But I think the reading method is awesome. I fully understand your compassion with it. And I think if we could get more people to believe that it works and try it, I mean, it doesn't hurt them to try it, right?
No, it doesn't hurt them to try it at all. And often sometimes there's a delayed response to it. And then of course you'll have the video, so you're welcome to use the video with your student, and they can go on it more than one time if they need to. Sometimes there are people that would, especially the younger they are, they need to see it again. But you touched me when you talk, and thank you.
Oh,
I always love it.
It is. There's also a guarantee.
There's also a what?
There's a guarantee. I mean, you guys really stand behind the product. I mean, it does really teach people how to read. So that's why you're so confident it does there. You guarantee that it would work for people.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Truly, if a child or an adult, whoever, doesn't use the tools that are given to them through the program, or it's not a program, it's a method, and they don't practice like anything, then they're not going to have success. So one of the things I tested, I don't know if Craig told you, I field tested the method with 7 other reading programs, and that was part of my master's project, or it was my master's project. And all of them, you know, swear they teach you to read. And I don't think everyone learns the same, but every single person I worked with had growth when I used that method. And so to me, that's a testimony that it's effective. Now, the kids that really didn't care whether they read well or not.
Lower your voice. Yeah.
Sure. The children, I worked with students 3rd through high school, seniors. And I didn't test any adults at that time, but the children that didn't care, they had the least amount of growth, but they didn't care from the beginning. They were just doing it, you know. I'll do it. I'll get some hours of service by doing it. But the ones that wanted to learn, it helped them tremendously.
So it's really a choice.
Yeah, I think so. And it was measurable.
That's one of the requirements I have when I teach someone. I ask them, do you want to be here? You know, sometimes mom made them come, and I said, would you rather be outside playing? If they say they'd rather be outside playing, I have them go outside and play, and then they can come back when it's their choice that they want to be there. And I think that's, and as we do the online method, you know, as we have people coming to it, and we have parents out there that are introducing their children to it, you have to really talk to them and say, do you really want to learn to read? Now, deep down, they do. Not learning how to read or not knowing how to read is being called names like Robin was called, like my brother was called, stupid and dumb. That's really, those words really just flow for some reason about people who are challenged with reading, and they feel that way. So they don't like feeling that way. So they're going to stop feeling that way if they take the reading method. That's huge. The other is that people in social situations get the kid that stands up in the circle and can't read. Sometimes he doesn't get invited, and that happens. So he doesn't get included in the circle, or you know, or invited to join with others because he's the dummy in the class. Sometimes he's the person who can't read is put into a class with developmentally disabled people. Now we've taught people who are developmentally disabled, but they get stigmatized. And the boy that came to see me, the man that came to see me, I knew it had been stigmatized. And he truly believed, even when we were done, he said, well, I'm a slow reader. And I let him prove himself wrong. Robin, I had a guy 41 years old that came in yesterday, and I taught him. And when he came in, he was having trouble with the words on the pretest. And when he was done, he read from our multi-syllable word list, and he only took a breath between words. And by the way, 475 multi-syllable words you're never going to find those in a reading. You don't read 475 multi-syllable words back to back. And then, Robin, I had him read from a book. And when I had him read from the book, he was able to read from the book 2 paragraphs, tell me what was going on, and he read fluently. And this is all out loud. And then I said, yeah, I want you to read it by yourself, just quietly, and just look at it. And he goes, wow. I mean, he was done. He says, I just kind of like, it just went so fast. So lots of experiences like that right now and I'm using the online method that I've sent you. So we'll talk about that because I want you to see it. It's new and different. And I don't know, have you been able to go over that yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, when you see that, you'll see I listen to your words. Robin and I like to argue with each other about reading. Oh, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I listened to her. And so we definitely made important changes because our queen expert gave us that advice, and I respected it.
There's always room for me to learn too.
Yeah, well, we're all learning all the time.
So, Ree, what was your experience with the reading method? Are you there, Ree?
Ree? Hi, Ree. Can you hear us? I don't know if she can hear us.
So maybe not. Her internet connection is a little bit weak.
Can you hear us, Ree? Hello, Ree. Can you hear? Do you have your earphones on?
She might have muted herself.
She might have.
I had muted myself earlier. And is your name Robert or Roberta?
It's Robert.
Okay,
Yeah,
it says Roberta. So when I saw your face, I went, oh, I didn't know any men named Roberta.
Hi.
So what is your experience with the reading method?
I loved it. I took it back a couple of months ago, and when I took it, it was a tremendous. I was going around at all the street signs, looking at them and trying to pronounce them, and it was really an eye-opening experience because now when I talked further with Craig afterwards, I was realizing that
I cannot hear.
Okay. We realized that those phrases, they were stuck in my mind. So, and it was repetitious. So, and now, like you said, it takes practice. So this week I've been practicing all over again, learning it. So I enjoy it thoroughly, and it's being in depth, and it is a different way. And I actually could feel the difference inside my mind, how it would impact me learning to read all over again rather than trying to do it the speed reading way like I did for many years. So thank you for asking.
Sure.
One of the stories and questions that are asked of me is someone from a foreign country speaks a foreign language, has a different accent. Those are real important considerations. I'm from England. I'm from Scotland. I'm from Ireland.
No, I was having problems before I started to even touch anything. Craig was garbled. And so when I had sound, I couldn't understand it.
You're good. You're good.
You're doing fine. Can you hear now?
My audio says it's still on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Thanks, Ree.
So when I was in Scotland, I had a little girl, 12-year-old girl, and she was the head of the dyslexic club. She had formed a club, and she was just a go-getter, and she couldn't read. And so I did the pretest with her, and she had troubles with the word milk and huge and sour. And she told me about her club, and she said that they passed a rule in the club. She instigated that if you could read, you couldn't be in the club. You had to qualify to not be a reader to be in the club. And it was
Right,
the dyslexic
correct.
club. Okay, so when I taught her to read, and she got it perfectly. And one of them, she accused me of being from Scotland because I had a Scottish accent a little bit. So but she told her mom she wasn't sure where I was from, but she was sure I must be Scottish. And I actually am Scottish, but I never speak in Scottish. Anyway.
Thank you, Blanche. Is anybody else talking? Because I can't hear anything.
Yeah, be quiet for a minute. Just be quiet for a minute. So she comes to me at the end and she says, Craig, I can't go to my club.
In other words, I don't know how to join in.
Yeah, be quiet just for a minute. Hold on. So she said, Craig, I can't go to my club. I can read now, and I don't qualify to be in my club, and I'm the president of the club. I've got to call the teacher and let her know. So she called the teacher, and she told her, I just learned to read.
Robin is not even on the screen at the moment.
So anyway, it was those kinds of experiences. But in answer to a question, it doesn't matter if you're from England or Scotland or
I don't
Australia.
know. Since I can't hear, then I don't know how to join in.
Okay, that's okay. Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear. So anyway, foreign students, people with accents, and then we're teaching it with an American California accent on our video, and it makes no difference. It doesn't interfere with that person learning to read. I had lots of students in Scotland, Ireland, England, who all did very well. So that's really important to understand. And the word dyslexia, for me, the word dyslexia means brilliant. It really does. It means that if someone who has got reading challenges has been told they're dyslexic, if I was to do a study on brilliant, the first question I'd ask is, does this student have difficulty with reading? If they said they had trouble with reading, then I would include them in my study. I truly believe that.
Wow.
When I was testing the reading method, I worked with several dyslexic students, and what I found is they learn to compensate and make it work for them. Oh, that's not good sound at all. But
no, you're fine.
They taught me some really cool methods that they used, and so I incorporated that into a lot of my teaching as well. You know, like I'm ADHD, so I had to learn things to help myself so that I could do better at academic progress as well. So
cool. So what has the reading method done for the students that you've taught? How many students have you taught since you've learned it, Robin?
Last year, I probably only taught, well, since I've learned the reading method, I've probably taught 200 or 300 children. Wow. Maybe a few more. And what I've done is I've used some of the tools to teach some adults how to work with kids, because I haven't used the video except for with 2 children. I've only used video with 2 children. And that's a whole nother thing. But it's because I didn't know, I wasn't trained on how to use it. So I didn't use it. I felt like I needed training in that because it was different.
Yeah.
But when we used a card system, is that what you call it, Craig? A card system? Mm-hmm. Those cards and some lists that we used. I've used that with lots of children. So,
wow.
Yeah, and I would say it's made a huge impact. And some kids will say, no, it doesn't help. But then you see them later reading. My kids that were reading at pre-primer level are reading 3rd grade books right now. And it's so exciting because they don't realize they're reading. They're just reading it and having fun and discussing it. So now we're working on higher level thinking.
Wow. So they have the actual, they just see it as You know, it's like they're introduced to a particular way of reading, and they just integrate it. They infuse it into their system and the way of being. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Kind of like what we do. Once you learn something, it's just natural.
Doesn't have they're not sounding out words. They're just simply reading.
Yeah, I tell them to do, like in the exceptions, look for those. I call them chunks. The exceptions are chunks to me. And I said, look for those. You don't want to tear a word apart, because especially in English, our words are funky. And if you know those exceptions, then you can look at that word. I always tell them, or actually a new thing I started telling them was, if I was going to build a house, wouldn't I bring a hammer with me? Well, yeah. I said, then why wouldn't you look at that list of exceptions when you get stuck on a word? Oh, yeah, huh? And then a lot of them and then they use their fingers like this to mask off parts of the word to look at sections of it so that they can then get to the full word.
So when you're the concept of like 3 syllables and 4 syllables, and then the exceptions are the ones that they just need to go to the sheet and look, but that gets memorized too over time.
Yeah, over time. Yeah. I know. I told Craig he should have a pocket version of that, like a credit card size, so we could pull it out and lay it on our desk or our tables, or when we're riding even, so would have those. I think that'd be a hit.
Yeah, we're putting that together. And it will have the whole reading method, and they have special ways to fold things, so we'll be able to fold them.
Awesome.
Will fit in a wallet or their purse. Robin, I wanted to share with you, and I don't know if I told you the story before, but I have a friend named John Hubacher, and he's in Los Angeles, and his wife, Anna Pia. And I was explaining to them, they're friends of mine, what the reading method was about, and I had it with me. And so I said, well, the best way to explain it was, would you like me to show it to your daughter? And her daughter was 5.5. And I personally, my brother taught people that were 3.5. I've never taught anybody 5.5. So I taught her the reading method. She said yes. And she went on the walk. She did the whole thing, and I taught her myself. And when I was done, I said, well, would you like to read some words? And she said, no, I want to go play. And so I said, bye-bye, go play. So she left. Well, my friends John and Anna Pia understood the reading method of what I was teaching, but we had no idea what happened to Alexandria. Well, a year later, she's in the 1st grade. And the teacher calls John on the phone and says, we don't know what happened. We didn't teach her to do this, but Alexandria is reading at a 5th grade level. and she's in 1st grade, and we don't understand how she did that. And John goes, oh, wow. So he said, yeah, we taught her a reading method a long time ago. Well, there isn't a word she can't read. And so I asked John, I said, why is it 5th grade level? I mean, he said, well, this school only goes to the 5th grade, so that's only material. I said, well, have her read above 5th grade. I mean, I think she can probably read any word, and then the comprehension, of course, goes along with what her exposure is. Well, I got to tell this part of the story. It's so funny. John and Anna Pia are on their way to church, and sitting in the back seat is Alexandria and her girlfriend, and then the mom and dad of the girlfriend. And so she spouts out and she says, Mom, what does, and she says a nasty word, a long, nasty word. And so her mom goes, where did you hear that word? Where did that come from? She says, well, it was in the book that was in your desk next to your bed. So one of the things that was happening is that she pronounced it absolutely correctly. She didn't know what the word meant, which was good. But the other thing was that word was in the 7th chapter, and they know Alexandria to read from the beginning to end, and she'd only ask a question when she came to something she didn't understand. And this was kind of a how-to book that they wish she hadn't seen. So the experience of, and now she's going to go to SC to a special advanced learning group, because she was, so far ahead of the other students and even the teacher that it was important that she go into a special program, and where she could be with other students who would be equal to her. So that's some of these stories are really fun to tell and really make me smile to see that there's such a possibility for people to become gifted. I have had several students who were diagnosed as being disabled and reading disabled and dyslexic, whatever, who, after I taught the reading method, psychologists would recant and say, well, I think we were wrong. I think that they were actually gifted. So that's always fun to experience as well. I think you're gonna really like our new video. So I hope let's talk after the show, and we'll talk about how to make sure you get on so you can see that. I think you'd be real impressed. I am.
Okay.
Well, cool, Raman. Thank you. I think we're going to let you go off, and if you go
Okay.
off, then other people might be able to jump on.
Okay. All right. Thanks for including me. Nice to meet
Robin,
you all.
thank you. You bet. It was an
Thank you,
honor
Robert.
for you. It was an honor for you to be here today. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, big hugs, my friend. Oh, that was my friend Robin. And it sounds like Robin. Robert, where are you? I'm seeing a banana on a table. There you go. Good. You can have a reinforcement when you're done. You'll be able to have something to eat. Good. So who else is out there? Where's Maria? I wonder if Maria teaches in a class, so she may not be always on because she has to run her school.
Okay.
So hopefully, I can't see who is on or not on. So.
Oh yeah, we have Linky that can jump on.
Yes, Linka.
She's Linka. Actually, she's the one that just did the learning program this week, and so she's really brand new at it. So it'll be a great. And she was actually going to read us a little bit of what she's learned. So.
Is she? Can she get on? Can she?
Yeah, she can get on here. Let's find.
Okay.
So yes, she is Linky. There we go. We're just getting her on right here. Yay!
Oh, here comes Linka. Yeah, it's an exceptional sound for an E. Very rarely is the E. She's Romanian.
She is Romanian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to see you, Linka.
Wonderful.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, you just started the reading method like a week ago, like last Friday or so. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Lanka Julai, and I am honored and excited to speaking to you on Robert's show about Universal Reading Method. I was born in Romania and I moved to United States 4 years ago. When I arrived in the United States, it was very difficult for me to speak and read English. Last Sunday, I decided I want to read and pronounce English words more easily. Oh, sorry, it's happening. It's not designed for my ears, but I put another head. It's much better. Don't come on. Robert told me about the Universal Reading Method, so I decided to try it out. I was happily surprised to find out how easy it was to learn to read English. Now I know how to pronounce all the English sounds, and my reading speed has improved very much. So only after 2.5 hours of instruction. Before, I read very slowly and I had to concentrate on each long word. Now I understand better because I do not stop at each long word. I would like to read a writing from a woman named Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You are playing small, does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So this was the reading. It's so powerful.
Linka, that is wonderful. Linka and I
Yeah.
talked for
Thank you.
Linka and I talked a little bit before the program, and we talked about what's going on with her and what her experiences have been. And then we worked on a script so that she would be able to share with you her full experience. And I just truly enjoyed talking with you, Linka, and so impressed with your experience. When I shared this writing with her, I just said, "Here's the writing," and I sent it to her, and she read it just like she did just now. And so I didn't teach her how to say anything or increase her ability. I really wanted to be a real accurate representation. And so I'm really impressed, and I'm so glad you like it. I love that saying, and it touches me every time I hear it. And if you heard it and you need a copy, it was Marianne Williamson's, and it was just Google her, and then who am I not to be? It's really wonderful.
Yes.
But
Very
really
wonderful.
great. So have you been reading your book? You've been reading a book and understanding your book better?
Yes, much faster and much easier. So I finish my speech, and after we can speak if so.
Oh, that's right. She had more to say. I forgot.
I do have no problem.
She's reading from a script that she wrote. This is good. Keep going. Go for it. Okay. What else?
I want everyone who listening to me on this program who has difficulty reading and speaking English to learn the universal reading method. If I can learn to read English and come from Romania, then you can too. No matter what country you are from or why you cannot read. Thank you for listening to me. That's it. So you can ask anything. I am open.
You did a great job. That's good. That's good.
Thank you.
So now convince them that that's the way you feel.
I feel wonderful and free.
Well, that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things as Linka, I was going to ask you about is in regards to the uplifting of yourself. After you did the reading method, did you feel kind of a light or a feeling of uplifting go on with you?
Might be, yes. I already told you I am in a high energy level. I do meditate a lot, and because this is I living in the heaven, in the earth, for sure. Even when I don't meditate, sometimes I feel the high energy just it lifts me up, and I have to laugh or without no reason. And might be this, let's see what's happening, but I can tell you the magic happens all the time. I got just coming everything in my lap even I can't imagine. I'm doing things which I never did before in my life, and just coming. And we are just at 8. What day it is today?
It's just the beginning, huh?
It's a beginning, and I can imagine what will be to end of year. So.
Wow.
Oh, that's delightful. That's delightful. People from foreign countries, that's a big deal, you know, and being from Romania, is the alphabet the same in
No, I speak 3 languages. I speak Hungarian. That is my native language. Romanian the second, the English the third. And I learn 2-year French, 2-year Latin, the Latin, and which the doctor use. And I can understand some Spanish and some Italian because it's a similar language with Romanian. So that's the reason, and the Latin language. So
it's really important you're the first person I've actually taught the reading method to who was from Romania and Hungary. So that's really was important to me to know because I want to teach the world to read English. And so a question I've had is that when the alphabet is different, the letters are pronounced are different than the ABCs.
yes, they are.
To be able to learn the letters and also use letters and then know what the sounds are and then to be able to put those into words is really impressive to me. So I'm really, really pleased with what you've done and what you're doing and where you're going. And
thank you. I know I don't know where is the end, but I know will be amazing.
That's great. Well, Lincoln, we're going to let you go. So we
Lincoln,
can
thank you.
Go on. Thank you.
You are very welcome, everyone. Thank you being part of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Lincoln is such a sweetheart. Her energy level is just off the map. I just love her energy. It's been great. One of the things I did want to talk about in regards to energy is that I see a big, huge contrast. And often the person you're teaching to read is not the expert on themselves or on reading. And so, or knowing what they experience. And I wasn't there when Lincoln learned the reading method, so I don't know what she was like before. I'm sure Robert does, but I have had a self-esteem change take place with the students because we're activating these 2 dormant parts of the brain, and it seems like when they go on, they're not connected to what was happening in the past. And I explained it to somebody because we were working successfully with somebody with PTSD who had been in the military. And the way that it was explained to me by Barry Schwartz was that we're activating 2 dormant parts of the brain. Well, there's these 2 parts of the brain, and they didn't go to Vietnam or they didn't go to Iraq. So the memory they have of what they saw when they were there is definitely a memory. They still know of it, but they're not reliving it because the 2 dormant parts of the brain have been activated. And so they're no longer feeling emotional about, and they're able to sleep. Of course, sleep's really important. And then their self-esteem goes up and they just seem to go forward without carrying this big bunch of baggage on their shoulders. So that was an interesting experience that we had. I worked with some people who were bipolar, and there was changes with the bipolar people. I do want to say something fun about ADHD. By the way, I want you to know I'm really prejudiced in regards to people who have been described as something wrong with them because they were dyslexic.
I've got something wrong with me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nothing's wrong with you. Anyway, so, but it's about like ADHD. So if I was to sit in a park and I told you I have an envelope with $500 in it, and I said, close your eyes, I'm going to go hide the $500 in the envelope. And when you find it, if you find it within the next 30 minutes, you can have it. Okay, so you're sitting there and you have your eyes closed. Then there's a psychologist sitting in the park too. He doesn't know anything about the $500 or the envelope. He just knows I want him to give me a diagnosis of what you're like and who you are. Well, you're searching for the envelope, and while you're doing that, he goes, "You have ADHD. I mean, you're standing up on chairs and benches, and you're going out into ponds, and you're climbing trees, and you're all over the map because you want to find out that answer. You want to find that $500 so you can have it. And after you're done, you will quit having that behavior." Well, students who have challenges with reading often express ADHD behavior because they absolutely want to find the answer, and they think that the girl next door sitting next to them in class, so they bug her. They don't care what they do. They don't want to get left out of social situations. They don't want to be told they're stupid and dumb, and they know that if they figure this out, then they won't. So they don't care what they do in the meantime because they'll stop it once they get it. No one ever told them that the answer was at the end of their finger. It's at the end of the finger. No one told them, but their process of search, of going to the teacher, of wandering around the room, of asking the other students, it's all a valid process. If you think that they know how to read and they can teach you or tell you. So it's a valid process. It's a brilliant process. It isn't something weird, but because it's out of context, because you don't know that they are anxious and seriously want to learn to read, you believe there's something wrong with them. Okay, so these things are all indications of a higher level intelligence, not lesser, but they're out of context until you understand the student. So if you are out there and you have challenges with reading, or you have a kid who's challenged reading, you know, now I know this, you know, you've been with your kid a long time and you've seen them do amazing stuff, and it doesn't make sense that there's something less about them. So the only thing is they're brilliant, they just can't read. And my brother, being someone just like that student who developed the reading method, that will take them from 0.1 to 100 and in 2.5 hours. So I wanted to share that with you.
That was really good. That was a nice share.
Do we have anybody else that's going to come on?
I don't see anyone popping on here just right at the very moment. So maybe we can maybe wrap this up and maybe set another blab. We could do it in another week.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to if I could figure out how to work the darn thing. God, I feel so much more relieved now that we've done this. And I didn't disappear again.
No,
by the way, last week
it's painless too.
Yeah, and then we have Reeves disappeared, who's going to not be painless.
That's okay.
So we'll have to give her a big hug when we're done.
When she's done, I think 3 times is a charm.
Yes, I think so. The 3rd time will be the charm. So if you can, look up our website, and Robert's going to provide you a site to go to if you want to become an affiliate, or if you'd like to have your son or daughter or husband or wife or yourself learn the reading method. And we're excited to
have you on board,
move you into the unknown.
Really great. So awesome, everybody. Thank you, Ree, and everyone who came on the panel today. You know, Robin was a really, really big inspiration. And I got to say, you know, Linky, I got to tell you, that was impressive. I mean, the enthusiasm and the excitement that came across was real. And I was, you know, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, it was a really good shift you made in her life. So that, you know, Craig, that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
So thank you, everybody.
Let's go teach the world to read.
Let's go teach the world to read. So everybody out there that's on this blab, I would like you to just press that link there and just register your name and email address so we can keep in touch with you on a regular basis, and so we can have an interaction when we have more blabs that come up. Would be really great. And also little clips of videos and you know, other success stories we'd be able to send you on a regular basis. So I would absolutely love you to click that link and put your email in there, and let's have a conversation, because you know what? Everybody gets a chance to read and make a difference in this world. I want to say thank you, Craig. for being here. Thank you for this last week. Thank you for all the challenges we've been through.
Well, thank
It
you.
only gets better.
By the way, if you want to work with somebody on a blab or be interviewed, definitely get involved with Robert. Do get involved. He is so easy to work with, as you can see. He's so relaxed. He's so calm, and it just makes it really easy. No matter what your challenge is, he never loses his cool. So I'm sincere. It's important to sign up with him to have him represent you.
You're so kind, Craig. And I love you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.